I honestly hope Halo Campaign Evolved is good because Halo is my favorite video game series. And in recent years, this video game series that I love has been in the toilet thanks to a slew of bad business decisions like creating the Slipspace engine with temporary workers, and terrible design choices like gutting the armor color system for the less creative armor coating system. With that said, Halo needs an easy win, so I get the idea of remaking a masterpiece to start drumming up interest in an IP that has lost a lot of it. I do genuinely hope this remake is good, because as a Halo fan, it sucks seeing my favorite gaming series be so abysmal, because it shouldn't be. Some positives I want to talk about with the remake is I like the fact that they're adding 3 new missions. That is really good. And I do like the fact that 343 is adding new weapons, enemies, redesigned levels, etc. Because I want to see what they can do using Unreal Engine 5. Plus, I already beat the OG Halo Combat Evolved back in the day on the first Xbox. So seeing Halo CE get a facelift could help freshen it up for longtime Halo fans like me, and the Halo CE port on MCC does kinda suck. I also think Campaign Evolved looks graphically stunning from the trailers, and this is a good thing for people who want to play Halo for the first time, because they can play the first game in the series, and they can get a more palatable experience than the 2001 version. I am also glad to see that 343 is apparently using all the old VAs from OG Halo Combat Evolved, because they did an amazing job. And I hope the voice direction for Campaign Evolved is done well, because some remakes like the 2020 Demon's Souls remake did miss the mark in that specific field. With me being a bit more hopeful and positive about the project, I do now want to be a bit more negative with talking about some of my concerns, because I do have a few. And then I'm going to say some suggestions for additional content that they should add to the Campaign Evolved, because I do have some ideas that I think would help improve the experience in the future for like DLC or something. With all that said, my first concern with Campaign Evolved is the performance of the video game at launch, because Infinite still runs terrible in some areas now. And I've never played a game made in Unreal Engine 5 that was polished at launch. So that does have me kind of questioning some things about Campaign Evolved. I do hope it runs well, but with modern video games you just don't know, and especially PC players should be cautious before buying the game at full price. My next concern with this campaign remake is if 343 can properly capture the spirit of Halo Combat Evolved. And what I mean is how much of 343's redesigning of the original Halo will be faithful to the vision of this game. Because we could see in the trailers that they're changing the art and gameplay up a whole lot. So I am curious to see if they can keep the original spirit of Halo Combat Evolved alive in this remake. I specifically have concerns about the art style, because 343 does seem to be remaking the original Halo to look more like Halo Infinite / Halo Reach than the original game. And I like the return to Halo art style that 343 went in Infinite, but Halo CE has its own unique art style that is very much inspired by sci-fi from the 90s that Bungie moved on from after the first game. So I am kind of curious to see if we'll see any of that sort of inspiration in the campaign remake, or if we're just going to see more of the Halo Reach / Infinite design. And it's not a bad design per se, but there is something charming about the first game's original art direction that I personally love. My last major concern with Campaign Evolved is if it was really a good business decision by 343, because we already do have Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary and Halo 2 Anniversary. So I'm kind of scratching my head wondering why 343 haven't given us a Halo 3 Anniversary or some sort of remake or remaster of Halo 3 and put it on MCC. As a longtime Halo fan, I just kind of see Campaign Evolved as kind of redundant, and I'm scratching my head wondering why they haven't done anything with Halo 3. And I get wanting to include PlayStation players into the Halo story, but you could easily do that by remastering Halo 3, putting up the graphics with Unreal Engine 5 like the Oblivion remastered, putting it on MCC, and then launching MCC on PlayStation. Now, with the major concerns that I have for the remake out of the way, let's talk about the ideas. Because the first idea that I have that I would love to see implemented is instead of a traditional menu selection between missions, imagine in Campaign Evolved if we could have a hub area like in Destiny or Space Marine 2 at Alpha Base, which was the UNSC base during Halo CE that we never see except in the arcade game Fireteam Raven. It would just be cool to see some more of the book/game characters like Major Silva, Lieutenant McKay, Private Jenkins, Fireteam Raven, and even Captain Keyes after his rescue, and just them interacting with Master Chief or just being in the background doing their jobs during the event of Halo Combat Evolved. Because in the base game of Halo CE, we're just going mission to mission with the Master Chief, but there were definitely times where he was at Alpha Base doing stuff, talking to his superiors, and it would just be nice to kind of see what the rest of the UNSC was doing instead of just the Master Chief alone. My second idea that I would like to see, and kind of building off of my last idea, is I'd also love if we got DLC or something where we got to play as different people during the events of Halo CE, like a Marine/ODST during the flood attack on Alpha Base. That example I just gave would be interesting to play through, and I would love to just see how other UNSC and Covenant forces reacted to the situations that happened during the first game. 343 is calling this campaign Evolved, so why not get some new stories from the setting of the original Halo? Or, why not evolve the game? My last suggestion for Campaign Evolved is I think they should add the original Campaign Evolved for people to play. And I know some people may think MCC has that covered, but that version of Halo CE is the inferior Vista version and not the original version. Original graphics, Halo CE is missing stuff like jackal shields changing colors when you shoot at them. The MCC version's also missing graphical details. I do think some of the lighting is worse in the MCC version, and I would just like people to be able to play the original version that is better than the version that is more easily accessible and worse. With all that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you have your own ideas, suggestions? Do you have your own concerns? And what do you think about the general state of Halo, and can this campaign Evolved kind of jumpstart the series back? Because for me, honestly, I think the only thing that'll really jumpstart Halo again is if we get a really good game that's not like Halo Infinite. It needs to launch with Forge, it needs to launch polished, and it needs to launch good. With all that said, thank you for watching the video, and...
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.